Put in the sky by the ace investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in August 2022, Akasa Air hit a major turbulence just about a year later when 43 of its pilots hit the eject button and landed in the hangars of rival airlines, mostly that of Air India Express. It had to cancel 600 flights in August 2023. But Akasa came out of the rough weather soon. In 2023, it was the best on-time performing carrier in 5 months, that are March, April, May, November, and December. Its much bigger rival Indigo was at the top for 6 months. And now, Akasa Air has placed an order for 150 narrow-body 737 MAX planes from Boeing. Akasa's first order came way back in 2021 when it had sealed a deal to purchase 72 Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. About 2 years later, in 2023, the company placed an order for 4 more planes. And now, with the latest deal of 150 planes, the airline's total order book has reached 226. The airline is operating with 22 aircrafts right now. Udit Agarwal of CAPA India tells more.
In total, now Akasa is sitting on an order book of about 200 aircraft. And the way we see it, this should be realized, the delivery should be realized by about 2032. So over the next 8 years or so, we expect these 200 aircraft to come into play. Largely speaking, these will be for the growth of the airline, and there may be a small component which will be utilized for replacement of aircraft as well.
But why did Akasa Air go for such a huge order? Former Executive Director of Air India, Jitendra Bhargava tells.
Indigo having placed a huge order, Air India also having placed a huge order, they have no option but to augment the fleet and not wait for the induction of the first phase of orders that they've placed and then think about it. The idea is to grow and not only retain your market share, but augment it. Because if you do not add capacity, the two other airlines, Indigo and Air India, will take away the market share.
Akasa Air holds a 4.1% share in the domestic civil aviation market, according to the latest data shared by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, or DGCA. Indigo, meanwhile, rules the Indian sky with a market share of 60.5%, followed by Air India Group, which commands 26% market share. The budget carrier SpiceJet share was at 5.5%. According to DGCA, India's domestic air passenger traffic grew by 8.3% year-on-year to 152 million in calendar year 2023. Clearly, every airline wants a share in India's fast-growing aviation market, and their order books are swelling. Tata Group-owned Air India has ordered 470 planes, while Indigo has ordered 500 narrow-body planes.
Group of Indigo and Air India Group in a sort of combined manner were taking about 88 to 89%, high 80s. So this duopoly has formed as of now. But in the near future, this is short term, we do see this continuing because both Air India and Indigo are two principal carriers, well placed. They have a significant capital weighting and they have aggressive expansion plans. But we expect in the medium to long term that this market share of Indigo and Air India Group would come down to about 75 to 80%. And the balance 20 to 25% is where Akasa will play. But we definitely do see a double digit market share of Akasa in the future. But how much of it takes up will very largely depend on the actions of SpiceJet. And now that they're looking to acquire Go First also, which is in the insolvency condition. So then they would have a significant fleet of about 100 aircraft, which then would significantly determine the balance market share.
And what about international expansion?
International market is a strict duopoly. We have Indigo and Air India combined taking about 38% of the market, which is from Indian carrier side. About 56% goes to the foreign carriers as on date. So over a period of time, we do expect Indian carriers to come up to 50%. But what component of that will very highly be determined by Air India and Indigo, because both of them have significant expansion plans. We know Air India has ordered wide bodies. there is an anticipation that Indigo may come up with a wide body order if it materializes. Then we are seeing that they're competing, probably competing on ultra long haul and long haul routes also post this wide body order. So Akasa will just foray into this market, and from the next fiscal, now that they have catered to the 0-20 rule. So it will be important to see how they grow, but talking about which areas they will compete in, since their orders are primarily narrow bodies and they've not gone with a wide body order, this competition should largely be seen in the short and medium haul range.
They will have to go abroad, but question will be whether you want to be on a short haul sectors, Southeast Asia, Gulf sector. You see, Indigo, for example, even though they command 63-64% market share of the domestic market, their presence on long-haul sector is nil. And I'm sure, taking cue from Indigo's experience of not having gone on long-haul sector, I don't think Akasa will repeat that mistake. Let's say we also want to go there. And that is where the tough market condition would be. An Indian diaspora in United States, Europe needs capacity.
In the first year of its operation between August 2022 and March 2023, Akasa Air posted a revenue from operations of 698 crore rupees, and the low-cost carrier reported a net loss of 744 crore rupees for the financial year. So what are the challenges that Akasa will face at the domestic front? Is it ready to fly high?
There has to be a striking balance between induction, revenue generation, so that you don't suffer losses to the extent it becomes unsustainable. But yes, from the Akasa perspective, placement of an order was imperative for them to grow from their current under 5% market share to something like 8, 9, 10% market share.
Clearly, Akasa Air has shown the will to fly high in the challenging domestic atmosphere. The runway ahead for the domestic aviation market is good. But will Akasa be able to make a good use of it to soar high? Only time will tell.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.